Hello and welcome to another episode of An Old Dog in a New Conference. Today we are going to preview the Michigan Wolverines, which is a team that most people are at least somewhat familiar with. But in modern college football, the rosters turn over and Michigan changed head coaches. Jim Harbaugh left for the NFL and Sharon Moore is taken over as the head coach. They run a spread option offense with a 4-2-5 defense. And they will be in Seattle, Husky Stadium at 4:30 p.m. Saturday. The game is going to be televised on NBC. This number 10 Michigan Wolverine team is a quality opponent. The offense is led by the 6'3", 235-pound sophomore Alex Orji, who is a very dangerous runner. He has a good arm and has made great throws, but he is inconsistent as a passer. Might have led to some controversy on who the starter was going to be this season. Their other quarterback actually started the first game of the season, but Orji has taken over as the starter, and you can see why. When you look at his legs, they look a little bit like, I'm not saying he's as big as Jonah Coleman, but they're big legs for a quarterback. So you better not be a DB and just stick your hand out there. They might take it off. The ground game is led by a senior running back, Khalil Mullins, who has already accumulated 540 yards, 6 TDs, with a 7-yard per carry average. You're going to see also many other seniors on here that are first-year players starting because they sat behind some talented players heading off to the NFL. Much like the Huskies got to see, Denzel Boston. Nobody knew who he was, but Dog fans knew who he was. They just didn't get their opportunity yet because there was NFL players in front of them. The receiving core is led by a talented tight end, junior Colston Loveland, who's 6'5", 245 pounds. He's leading their team in receptions and yards. Also, sophomore wide receiver Samaje Morgan, who is an electric jitterbug special teams returner. He missed last week and is still the second on the team on receptions. On the offensive line is a solid group of veterans that have not really been starters yet. The exception is the senior left guard, and he's 6'3", 306 pounds senior Josh Preby. He is also All Big Ten third team and a team captain. The tackle is Evan Link, is a redshirt freshman who's the exception. He's not a veteran that sat behind everyone for a long time. He's a talented young guy that redshirted last year, didn't play at all, and now is taking over the starting job. He's 6'6", 328 pounds. Overall, on the offensive side, I see a very talented group that is inconsistent in the passing game, sometimes in the blocking, but overall, I think that they're gelling. So I kind of feel like that they're getting better as a team. So moving over to the defense, this talented Wolverine group on the defense again. They're not last year's defense maybe, but they're still super talented. They're led by a free safety team captain, Rod Moore, who's out for a good portion of the season. But there will still be co-captain free safety is Makari Page, and the All-American corner is 6'2", 200-pound Will Johnson, who missed last week and is questionable. I think it was a game-time decision, so I'm not sure if he'll be back this week. Other corner was a redshirt freshman Jariah Hill, and he was outstanding in the Minnesota game. All over the place, interceptions, tackles. He looked really good. So Jariah Hill I think he's a talented young player. If Will Johnson is back between the two of them, those are pretty nice corners. The linebacking core is led by Josiah Barham, and he's a 6'3", 248-pound junior transfer from Maryland, where he was twice a Big Ten honorable mention honors. The edge rushers, Derek Moore, the 6'3", 256-pound junior, had 6 tackles for loss and 5 sacks, while the 6'1", 245-pound senior, Josiah Stewart, accumulated 8.5 tackles for loss and 5.5 sacks last season, earning them both honorable mention All Big Ten honors. Up front, the Wolverines are strong, anchored by the 6'3", 320-pound junior, second-team All-American defensive tackle Mason Graham, and then 6'3", 339-pound Grant, and the two of them are very stout inside. Graham is more athletic. Kenneth Grant is just a big boy, and he doesn't get moved easily. So up front, it's the Big Ten. That's what they do. You stop the run first. You have big defensive tackles, and you have tough linebackers. Overall, the Michigan Wolverines, they got beat up by a powerful Texas team, and it was early enough in the season, and they have had enough changes that it was a tough game. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses. Texas was a better team, but I think if they meet each other in the playoffs, I'm not saying Texas wouldn't win again, but I think you'd see a much more competitive game in our favor if Will Johnson's not quite healthy and their safety, Rod Moore, is out for this part of the season. Alex Orji is inconsistent and still learning, so we catch him early enough where maybe, we got a shot. And for the Huskies, they got to stop the penalties, and everyone knows this, and I'm not saying the coaches don't know it or know what they're doing, and sometimes you can't control things, whatever. We got to clean up the penalties. If we clean up the penalties, this could still be a bowl team. And so we're getting into the toughest part of the schedule, and I don't think we have any chance of beating Penn State or Michigan or these, top teams if we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot. I hope that we can do better than that. Until next time, go Dawgs.